Thank you, Sebastiano. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and switch to sharing my screen. So just give me a moment while I make that switch. All right, you will probably see two of me right now, but I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to say thank you first to PMI North Carolina. Thank you so much for having me today. I will be talking about how you can get found on Google Search and Maps. And for you, if you are potentially a freelancer or you work in the marketing field, this may or may not be new information to you, but a lot of times many people don't realize this is available to them for free with their personal Gmail or free Google account. So if you don't have a Gmail account, not to worry, a free Google account will get you there to have access to everything that I'm talking about today. So I'm not trying to sell you anything Google at all. I've been on the Google team for 6.5 years as an educator in helping people maximize and optimize the use of the free tools that they have available at their fingertips, because most people don't realize that. And they do the sad thing, which is they pay for a service that they truly do have available to them free. So I'm going to put front and center here and say thank you to PMI, but then also I want to give you the opportunity that if you would like a copy of the slides and handout that I'm using right now, you can use this QR code and take a snap of it right away to be able to get that copy instantly. Or you can go to this URL in red, which is https://bit.ly/Google Maria. I'll also drop that in the chat. It might make it easier that you could just link there and connect right away to the slides and handout. I'm also doing a recording, as you are also doing that as well. I do have a recording running, which will be available later this evening as soon as this finishes, because I am, of course, doing this live. And then anytime there are any updates to the slide deck, because the Google platform is always changing, Google is ever growing. So because of that platform, what you have now in your hands, a lot of people like to use the slide decks as an outline, may be changed or may be updated depending on your region, just because Google's always evolving. And because of that, if you do get a copy of this using the QR code, then what will happen is I will always keep you updated whenever the slide deck updates and teach you about some of the new things that are rolling out, so you stay up top of your game of all the free tools you have available to you and how you can maximize those. Okay, so we'll go ahead and bring that front and center again. If you're just coming in, you're very welcome. Charles, you're very welcome. I can see you in the chat box. You'll find I keep things highly interactive. I am very much an interactive speaker, and I love being able to make it worth your while. This is 60 minutes of your time. It can either be spent or an investment. I like for it to be an investment and you to really think about, of this information, what would be helpful to you, either to do yourself or to share with somebody, but in what way to apply that, because knowledge is not powerful until it's applied. So today we're going to be talking about how you can get your business on Google Search and Maps. You'll see the blue link in the middle is everything small business about Google, and you can find out exactly what tools you have access to. There are hundreds of them that you have access to. You'll also see that's who I am. I am a professional trainer with the Google team. There are 7 national trainers. I'm one of the 7. I happen to work really closely with veterans in the military because I do come from a military background. So I work with spouses who are military entrepreneurs, also those veterans who are transitioning to civilian life. I help them to be able to start their business or deal with doing and working a business while they have to also deal with deployment. So I do come from a strong background because I grew up in military bases. I, in fact, grew up and went to school at a Department of Defense school, and I've actually received the U.S. Air Force Distinguished Service Award. So I'm excited to be here today to share with you how you can control your information on Google Search and Maps. So, oops, let me go back one more. If you look at the very bottom, those are my handles on social. You'll see the first one at Maria Duron, Duron, is me on Twitter, or X as it's called now. And then you can also find me at Get Found Got Growth. That's me on Instagram. If you want to tag me on any of these and share me out with your socials, I'm happy to retweet, repost you, and give you a little bit more visibility from that, okay? This is who I am. I am on the Google team, as I said. I love this because I get the opportunity to work with small businesses, individuals, freelancers, consultants who really are trying to get more visible, either in their personal brand or their business. So even from small businesses to individuals to home-based businesses to corporations, you can control the information that you have on Google. And I'm going to teach you how to do that with some of the free tools today. Now I'm just touching the very initial tip, I should say, of the iceberg for the free tools, because the free tools that are out there there's a plethora of them. And I'll take a deeper dive into any one that you'd like. And of course, I'm going to end with Q&A, even though I keep it highly interactive, and I'll watch that chat box. If you've got any questions that especially will help enhance and make something more meaningful that I'm covering today. But if you get any other questions, I'll definitely answer that at the end. And I'm happy to support and serve you in being able to maximize these tools. Okay. So let's talk about what is a Google Business Profile. How many of you actually have one? Let me know in the chat box for those who are here in the room. I'll talk about how you can create a business profile, how you can manage that. And I always end with free resources because I'm a bootstrap marketer. I like free or small fee, and I like to end with that to be able to apply what you actually learned today. So Google Business Profile, I co-manage one for work. Cindy, wonderful. Thank you so much for finding that chat box. So yes, a Google Business Profile used to be called Google My Business, GMB, or even a Google listing back over 2 years ago. It changed names to Google Business Profile, and I'm excited that you do that, Cindy. So do you post often at all on your Google Business Profile? I'd love to hear that. So for those who aren't aware of what a Google Business Profile is, a Google Business Profile looks like this when you're on Google Search and Maps and you're looking for information. In fact, because there is so much updates with what's happening with AI, artificial intelligence, you'll hear a lot of search generative experiences, which means that search is evolving and it's now actually looking and pulling into these Google Business Profiles and reviews, updates, photos, and videos, and delivering those higher in search than anything else. A lot of people are looking into what Google Business Profile can do and really seeing the value in this because it is a free tool that helps you control what Google Search and Google Maps sees about you, your business, or if you're a consultant, about your consultancy. Yes, absolutely. We do pay attention to the questions that are asked. And that's wonderful, Cindy, because those questions and answers are given favor into Google's algorithm and actually show up higher. So it's good to do that. In fact, I encourage people to do that. Even if others don't ask questions, ask your own questions, because when people reach out to you about your product, service, or solution, the commonly asked questions that are asked. So you'll see here photographed actually in the slide or pictured in the slide is what it looks like on a mobile device. And do you know that 84% of us go to mobile first when we want to know, go, do, or buy? 84%. And this is important for you to know because a lot of businesses now don't even have desktops available sites. You'll go to some sites now where it says only available on a mobile device. When I was working with the Amazon team, the way everything was planned in the Amazon team was that everything was built for mobile first. And if there was extra time, extra money, and extra labor, then they would build for desktop. But mobile is first because that is where we go first. So you'll see what it looks like on a mobile device. It gives you a chance to see the brand, the name, the location, phone number, hours, and really good to give a really good visual brand of what this business does, as well as quick links to find out information. Now, there's a lot of credibility when people can see you on your Google Business Profile because I see that you're a real viable business. After everything that happened in 2020, we know that a lot of businesses shut down, and a lot of times people will gauge whether or not they think a business is actually in existence on when was the last time they posted or whether they can find them in search. It used to be in brick and mortar days that we would say location, location, location. In fact, it does for those who are still assessing whether or not they want a brick and mortar location. That's really important, that perfect location where you get the right kind of traffic with the right target audience. Well, it's the same thing with your website and your online presence. That's location, location, location. When 94%, so 84% go to mobile, but 94% go to Google search first when they want to know, go, do, and buy, that is where you need to be, because if you're not visible there, people don't know you exist and they cannot do business with you. In fact, they go to mobile first before they do anything, where before we used to walk into showrooms, locations, or even go check other traditional media. We now do go online first. So it is about location, location, location. To have that kind of credibility, we have to have findability. And also, we look on maps. Maps is another way. We so much look for things that are near us, whether or not someone has a brand, a service, even if their inventory has the capacity for us to be able to go into their location and get exactly what it is that we need. So what's nice about a Google Business Profile is it looks good on any device. So you'll find that Google search relies on three things. There are three parts of Google's algorithm. You hear a lot about the algorithm. Each pillar has about 1,000 different factors, but the number one pillar is relevance. How well do you match to what people are searching for? So when you match, now one of the things that Google does look at also is the third pillar, your quality score. How well does your site adjust to mobile? How fast does it load? When was the last time you updated your site? Do you have videos on your site? When was the last time you posted videos? Do you have reviews? Do you reply to your reviews? All of that comes into your quality or your prominence score. And those two factors really help determine where you show up in search. And if you don't show up above the scroll, so when you're looking at a 4.5-inch screen, and they have to scroll up. They're looking for people in the first scroll before they have to do that scroll, because they see people who show up or businesses that show up in that first result as being experts at what they do. And it doesn't matter our budget. We all want to work with experts. So how you can create a business profile if you don't have one is you can go to google.com/business. If you have a Gmail account, you're golden. All you need to do is log into your Gmail account. Then you go into google.com/business, refresh, it'll see your credentials and it'll let you in. If you don't have a Gmail account, not to worry. You can go to google.com/accounts, ACCOUNTS, so plural, google.com/accounts. You'll go in there and create a actual account. You'll use your current email. It doesn't change it to Gmail. Create a password, and like any other password protected site online, you'll use this to log in and access all the free tools for you to control what Google sees in Google Search and Maps. So you can do that also in Maps. If you go to maps.google.com, we always give you a few other ways to get to things in Google. So this is one of the other ways. If you don't do it in search, you can go to Maps, go here, and then you can follow along on how you can add your business or claim and verify that you are the business owner, because you may be already there because somebody either saw you there, connected you there, or mentioned or even gave you a review on Google. So those are several ways you could show up on Google without you being the one who actually controlled that and made it happen. Okay, so as you sign into your Google account, this is how you do that. If you are starting off fresh, you can see at the very bottom left, there is a URL there if you want to screenshot that. But remember, I've got copies of today's slides for you already ready, so you don't have to do all the screenshotting, and you don't have to worry about trying to snap photos at all. Again, I dropped that in the chat, so you'll have that available to you. When you go to that URL, you'll type in your business name. If your business is on Google, it will start showing up there. You'll see a drop-down menu. Now, this is of every business name this in the United States, so be very careful if you're in North Carolina and this business is in Texas. So it may be the same name as your business, but that's not your business in Dallas, Texas, as it is potentially in Lenoir, North Carolina. So take a look at that and make sure it's the right location. And if not, if you're not on Google, now's your chance to enter it so Google can see you. You'll put in your business information and then you'll choose a category. The category, there are 3,000 different categories to choose from, but nothing uniquely describes your business because there's so many different kinds of business formats and services that people provide. Just choose the one that's closest to you. And then once you verify that you're the business owner, you'll have the ability to add 9 subcategories that will now help you really differentiate what makes you so unique. As you go through next, then what you'll do is you will make a decision. So let's say you're in an office that's by appointment only, or perhaps you're someplace that's not public facing. Perhaps you don't want to see people except for by appointment, and you meet them at their offices or their location or in meeting rooms and co-working spaces. Or it could be that you are home-based, running everything, your consultancy out of your home, and you do not want everybody showing up at your doorstep at home. That's no interest for you to make your home address public-facing on Google Search and Maps. Well, this is where you'd make that decision. If you're a brick and mortar, then you would click yes. If you really want people to come into your office space and your location, yes means you want your address to be on Google Search and Maps and you want that foot traffic coming in. Know, though, that you deliver your products or services at a customer's location, and understand your phone is a customer's location. So if you're doing virtual consulting, virtual project management, like many of the project managers that I work with, because I am with an international e-commerce business, then the answer is no. You don't ever want people to come into your location, but you do deliver products and services to their location. In this instance, it's a digital location. So you make that decision, yes or no. After you've done that, then you have the opportunity to put your address, which might make you stop for just a minute and wonder, what am I doing? Because I don't want my home address to show up here. But understand that 9 times out of 10, that Google actually verifies that you're the business owner by sending a postcard to an actual mailing address. So they need this address not to show up on search and maps, but actually to be where they send this postcard, which looks nothing like a postcard. It looks like a W-2 with perforations on the top and side. And what you do is you tear that open. There's a 5-digit verification code there, and you'll enter that in, but it will be mailed to a mailing address. Now, P.O. boxes don't work, so it does have to be a physical mailing address. Once you do that, you can now add service areas. Now, let me caution you. Let me go back one slide here just to share that when you get that verification postcard and you enter that 5-digit code in, you will now be tempted with, especially if you said, I don't want people to come to my location and I deliver products and services to my customer's location, you'll be tempted with, well, just drop this pin at your address. Is this the correct place? Don't fall for it, because once you do that, now that is a signal to Google that you do want your address to show up, and it will now publish that address on Google search and maps, and you don't want that. Just skip and ignore that, and your address will stay hidden and not published, and now you can choose service areas, which you can already start doing even before that postcard comes in. So let me show you where you do that. Your service area is where you can list, either by county, by city, by zip code, the 20 service areas that you serve. You don't have to put all 20, but you have up to 20. Now, remember that Google has tools for different things, and Google Business Profile is hyper-local focused, which means you've got to keep your service area within 100 miles of your location. Or let's say you service a location, maybe, I'm in Midland, Texas, base of the Panhandle. Dallas is a good 4 hours east of me, actually 4 hours east. So I might serve Dallas and I might stay within that area of 100 miles, but not really mention Midland. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't serve nationwide or worldwide, but I realize that if I put the United States or I put the entire world here as my service area, I've diluted the effectiveness of this tool, and it means it's not going to show up anywhere in Google Search and Maps, which would be a waste of time for me then to even do anything with this tool. I know this tool is hyper-local focused. Focus on that, and then now after that, you can use other tools to be able to reach nationwide or worldwide. Okay? Now you can enter your business information. If you've got a website, great. If you don't, just click no. You could utilize a free Google site. You can use the free Google site that comes with your Google Business Profile and help showcase everything there within Google. It's really your call. You don't have to have a website at all if you want to do all the business on your Google Business Profile and not have to worry about the cost of a website. You could do all of that there, whether you sell products, services, or book appointments. All of that can be done on your Google Business Profile. Do know that I always, if you do have a website, I do still encourage you to do and utilize all these Google tools, even the free Google site, because I know the more horses you have in the race for visibility, the more of a chance you have to be seen. Statistically, you want to show up in the first 10 searches. If it's all about you, you've really positioned yourself as an expert at what you do. And as I said earlier, doesn't matter the budget, we all want to work with experts. Now you can start choosing how you want to verify. Sometimes you'll be given the opportunity to get a phone call. Very rarely, though, will that happen, but it does happen from time to time. Postcard by mail is the predominant way and the most really quickest way and the easiest way to verify that you're the business owner. There is a way that has been showing up lately, which is a video verification. It is one of the toughest ways to be able to verify, just because you have to prove that you actually own the business. So there's a lot of video shots that have to happen in a quick 10-minute time frame. But it will walk you through exactly what that looks like if that's all that it presents to you. It really depends on the category and your region, what will be presented to you. It could be all of them, or the age of your business as well. It could just be one, maybe the postcard by mail, or they could offer to text you and you text back a code and you'll verify instantly that way too. But once the postcard's on the way, it takes about 5 business days. I would alert anybody who actually picks up your mail, because they might think it's an ad since it doesn't look like a postcard. It does look like a W-2, and they might think that it's some sort of direct mail or junk mail piece and throw that away. And you don't want that to happen, because you'll have to start the process all over again. Now, while you're waiting for that verification, you can start adding your services. It will come up with some services that are already lined nicely with you because of the category that you've chosen. Once you have verified, you can add the 9 other subcategories, but you might also want to add in or even take away some services, or add, look at the very bottom link there, the very bottom blue link at the bottom of that laptop screen. You'll see add custom services. So you can add a custom service if there's nothing there that really shows what you provide. You can add business hours if you want. If you're by appointment only, you don't have to put that in. You can explain in the description of your business that you're by appointment only. But if you've got business hours in, you do want to add those. Now, do understand, for those with brick and mortar locations, if you say that you're open, or you say that you're open and you're really closed because you didn't update your numbers, let's say that it's a holiday or a special event that you're having where you're closing out a little bit early, and therefore people may see and look for you close to 4:30, but you're already closed. If they find that on Google and they drive up and you're closed, they're not mad at Google, they're mad at you. And that's part of your first impression that's lasting. So it's really important to watch your business hours if you do have those added in. You can now add the ability to message too. So what is messaging? Well, within Google Maps app on your phone, you have the ability to get messages from people who might have questions and they don't want to call anybody at all. It could be middle of the night when they want to, and you don't want to divulge what your actual cell phone number is. Well, you don't have to. Let's say you're here at a PMI meeting and you can't answer the phone or respond to a text message at all, but you've got 3 other people back at the office who can, and you understand that people are very immediate now. They want an answer when they're ready for an answer, and sometimes that's who earns the business, is the one that answers, and you want to be able to have that available so the other people within your office can answer while you're in this meeting. Or you can answer, but it does not divulge at all your cell phone number at all. It does keep that private and masked for you, but still gives them the opportunity to be able to communicate and get a hold of somebody who can help them with any questions they may have. You also have the ability to add that business description. You'll see there that it's 750 characters. Know that a character is a space, a grammatical mark, and an alphabetical mark. So that's all of a character. You only have 750. Google did launch about a month ago Google Bard within Google Business Profile. So Google Bard, B-A-R-D, is Google's AI. And you can actually now, there's a little lightning bolt there when you're in your Google Business Profile. It's not pictured here in this slide, but it will write your business description for you. The only caution that I send here is that your business description really needs to use the words of people who are looking for you. What are the words that they search with? Because I was working with a pediatric orthodontist once, and he thought that's the way people searched for him. But what he found out later is really his customers were saying, hey, who knows how to clean and straighten a 13-year-old's teeth? Or does anybody have to deal with cavities in their 12-year-old or their 10-year-old? Those are the words they're using, not the word pediatric dentist or pediatric orthodontist. So that's important for you to know, because if you're not relevant, remember what I said about relevance being the first pillar within Google's algorithm? If you don't exactly match what people are using, you're not going to show up, or you're not going to be delivered or visible in search within those first 10 searches. So you want your business description to match. How you can make that match best is by reading your reviews, or if you don't have reviews yet, read your competitors' reviews. That's competitive research. And your competitors' reviews, or even your own reviews, in their own words, actual customers and clients are telling you what matters most to them. Use their words, lean into that, because that will help you show up higher in search. Now you can add photos and videos, up to 30 seconds of videos. Understand that the same video ratios that you use for Instagram fit nicely here, which is really important to remember. Remember, not everybody is on social. So not everybody's on TikTok or Reels or Snapchat or LinkedIn. They're not all there, but we do know that 94% go to Google first when they want to know, go, do, or buy. So why wouldn't you repurpose content here? Why wouldn't you be posting to your Google business profile and updating things, especially photos, which is your visual brand, and video? We know that that is so highly it's actually highly attractive now when you think about how many people watch and look at TikTok. That's actually at the top of Google search algorithm, is it will give favor to photos and to videos. People can even leave reviews with photos and videos now. So we know that that's showing up higher within search, and you can control that by adding your own photos as well as your own videos. You could advertise. I'm not going to talk about that. There are free portions of Google Ads, but it is mostly a paid platform. So I'm not going to talk about that today, but I'm happy to come back and talk about that at any time, because we do cover exactly how you can use the free aspects of Google Ads as opposed just the paid part. Now, as you're waiting for that verification to come in, you can also do other things, which is manage your business info. Once it has come in, you're going to put that 5-digit code in, and now you'll be good to go. If you've got any questions, let me know in the chat box, because I do want to make sure that this is very much customized and personalized to you. So when you're managing information on Google for your Google business profile, you are just going to have to be logged into the Google account that you created your Google business profile with, or that you manage it with if somebody else assigned you to it to manage it. And once you've done that, you can go into Google search, and you'll see right at the very top, these icons present themselves to show what you can actually manage within your Google business profile. You can do things like update the name, update the category, add 9 subcategories to really show the uniqueness of your business, update the description, because now you realize your description doesn't quite match what people are searching for, either typing in or saying, hey Google, hey Alexa. Update anything as far as locations or hours, or even your attributes. Let's say you're veteran owned. Remember what I said earlier about I work with a lot of veterans, so they look for other veterans. They look for that V, that badge, because that's who they want to do business with, is other people who actually also have served in the military. So you can put your attributes here. You can decide on that, as well as put your products. So you don't need a website if you want to sell products. You can put products here. You can also put services in here, and then sell those directly by somebody contacting you without ever having a website. So no cost, and nice and easy. You can put a price range so you don't have to be specific about it, and still put a little button underneath that says buy now or call now, or find out more information if perhaps you have an information page of your site that provides a little bit more details. Now, if you've got product, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here unless somebody has questions about it, but if you do have product, let's say you have some sort of product that you're selling, so it's an actual physical product that you have a US or you have an actual or UPC code or a GTIN code that you can scan, then you can utilize this free Google tool to put your products online. But again, that's product based. If you're interested, let me know in the chat box. Now, for the question here with edit services, you can add services. So it doesn't have to be a physical product. It can be services. Let's say I've got a question here. After you've verified your business and then you begin to make changes to your business profile, how long does it take those changes to appear in public? For example, hours of operation. Usually, Cindy, about 15 to 20 minutes. It really depends on what time of day and what area you are of the country that's going to happen. Here's my caution to you is anytime you make changes like hours of operation, you can usually do that pretty quickly. But anything like addresses or additional categories that you're adding, do that slowly. So even though I've talked about the 9 subcategories that make you very unique, that will really explain your business, only add maybe 1 or 2 new subcategories every week or every other week. Because anytime you make a lot of changes to your Google business profile altogether, that is a red flag and triggers a verification event to Google. So what does a verification event mean? That means that you've changed a lot about the business, and Google just wants to make sure that you still are in control of your Google account and that you own your business. So now it will send either a postcard, verification postcard, or want to send a text or a call. The only thing is, while it's doing that, because it can take anywhere from 4 to 5 or 14 business days, even if it's a postcard being sent, while that's all happening, your information is now no longer publicly shown because it's not verified anymore. So don't want to do anything once we're verified to throw us into a verification event. So do things slowly, but you can add even services. I'll add like 2 services at a time. So maybe somebody does bookkeeping and they do marketing, project management, e-commerce project management. I'll have them add that one at a time. So they might even have marketing project management, administrative, e-commerce based. Some are even very, very specific as far as data analytics e-commerce. I will ask them to add that very, very cautiously, carefully, one at a time. So not to trigger an event. And you'll eventually have them all there, but it does take a little bit of time because you don't want your information not to be found, especially at those key moments when somebody might need your product, service, or solution. Okay? I hope that answers your question. You're very welcome, Cindy. I love that you're asking questions. People are very visual, so adding photos, logos, that really helps with the branding. Understand that you are going to get bored with your brand before anybody even realizes that it exists. So while you might think, oh my gosh, I've posted my logo everywhere, it does take a while for people to see it, and we know it takes 7 to 11 times for them to see it to even recognize that they actually saw something. Great photos. There's some tips here, videos up to 30 seconds. Again, showcase your business. I know a lot of people who get very creative, especially from the services side, showing maybe some happy customers. I work with accountants who will even show a picture of a shoebox and then a spreadsheet or a booklet, actually of a spreadsheet. So it's their report, it's their P&L report and everything. And they'll say, I turn this to this, and they'll do one photo shoot of that. That again gives a nice pictorial of what it is that you actually deliver to your clients. You can also create those posts, Cindy, like I was talking about. I encourage people to do posts every 5 days, and this is why. I know it's given favor in the algorithm and shown a lot higher within the first 5 days. So I always try to keep this updated. But a real good rule of thumb is if you do any social postings at all, you're going to want to, anytime you post on social, post here because, again, not everybody's there, but now you can capture them here. And it's really good for us to understand and dominate Google search. Understand Google's the #1 search engine in the world. The #2 search engine in the world is YouTube, which is also owned by Google. It's also the #2 search engine in the world, behind Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. So even above TikTok, YouTube and Google, all being Google, dominate search. And for us as small businesses or consultants, it's important for us to understand and dominate search so we're seen when people need what we have. So as you look here, you can put an update. You can also have a call to action button there, which is something like, learn more information, check out this website, call us for information, contact us, fill out a contact form, watch this video, download this PDF. So we can do updates. Let's say we're having an update of a new product or maybe even an anniversary of a team member that's been with us a while to show that we're really a good employer brand as well. It could be an offer that we have or an event. Let's say you wanted to put the PMI session today online. Even though it's there digitally, you can put this event and it would have been visible on Google Search and Maps until the start of this actual session. So you can do that too. You can also connect to customers through reviews. Now, this is something that I do like to talk quite a bit about because it's so powerful and it takes and has so much weight within Google's algorithm because third-party validation is critical. We can say all day long that we're amazing, but when somebody else speaks positively on our behalf, there's a lot of weight to that. And reviews are what is very much weighted within Google as well as people who are searching for information on Google. Now with reviews, a lot of people will ask, Maria, how can I stand out with reviews? There's a really easy way to do that. One is to say thank you for your reviews. 97% of businesses do not say thank you for a good review. They look at the negative reviews, and the nature of the beast is we focus on the negative when we try to figure that out, and we don't say thank you for all the wonderful reviews. Understand it's not just the person who left you a review who is seeing your action or your inaction, but it's also people lurking, trying to assess if they want to do business with you. And who wants to do business with a business that doesn't listen to their customers? So when a customer gives you a great review and they've taken time to leave you information and to leave that review here, why wouldn't you want to say thank you for it? So that's a great way to stand out head and shoulders above your competitors, is just by saying thank you. Now you're up at 3% of most businesses who will not do that. Now you're going to be the one who does that. But also engaging and responding to people, especially if they have questions, because people are asking you questions, and all of us lurking there, checking you out online, are seeing whether or not you're a good listener and whether or not we want to do business with you. Now, if you're in business any amount of time, you are going to get negative reviews. First, there are trolls. Those are people who have all kinds of time to do whatever they want to online. You're never going to beat a troll. We're way too busy for that. Leave them alone. Don't feed the trolls. Some people will reach out and say, well, I don't see you on my customer list. So they'll come out that far to let everybody know who's lurking that you do listen to all your customers, which is valuable. But some won't even engage them, which is fine. But if you're in business any amount of time, you will receive a negative review. It's just the nature of the beast. There's going to be something. You could give a wonderful talk and there's too much salt on the green beans. Has nothing to do with you, but it could come across as a negative review. Here's how you reply to that. That's not the experience I want for you or that we want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Please contact us here. 3 things happen when you do that. Number 1, they realize there's another person, a person to person at the end of this message, which a lot of times we de-escalate when we're realizing we're not dealing with a chat box or some sort of automated answer. Now, human to human, we become more human and more friendly. Number 2, it takes the argument or the fight offline. There is nothing, we don't have enough time in the day to win an online fight. And anytime Google sees you interacting with something a lot, it sees it as popular and it showcases it more. It gives it more favor in the algorithm. We don't want to do that, especially with a negative review, because you do want to take it offline as quickly as possible. But a third thing happens with that too. Sometimes a bad review is just a complaint and a request in another format. And when you make that person-to-person contact, all of a sudden you can realize what it is you may need to fix. You can bring them in, have that conversation, and you can turn something that could have been an adversarial relationship into an advocate relationship now, just because they know you listen. And they could even walk you in to their circle of influence, letting them know that you listen and you care, which really is powerful when you can borrow from their credibility into their contact sphere. So again, that response is, that's not the experience we want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Please contact us here. And now you can leave your phone number to text, the phone number to call, a link to your contact form, your email address, a link to Messenger, a link to WhatsApp. However is best for them to contact you, you can put that here. It does preserve their privacy, by the way. I've worked with several financial institutions where I've seen people make comments and give their account number and their password and their routing number away in a review comment because they think they're having a one-on-one conversation with a representative. I've seen many even divulge medical history because of that. You really are trying to keep their information private and them confidential. So take it offline as quickly as possible, and you benefit from that actually happening, and they will see you as somebody who helped them avoid a pitfall as opposed to you leaving them to expose themselves. Now, asking for reviews is just as important as responding to reviews, okay? Because if you don't ask, people won't give you reviews. We all have great intentions to leave great reviews, and then we get a text message or life happens, the boss comes in, we've got a meeting to go to, all of a sudden our great intentions are gone. Understand that 94% of people would leave a review if they were asked, but they were never asked. And of those who were asked, 68% of those who actually left a good review, or left a review, I shouldn't say good, because they would have left a better review had they been asked, but nobody asked them. So what you can do with your Google Business Profile is you have this really cool link you can just copy. See that copy icon right there? Just click on that copy, and now you can put it on your email signature at the bottom of your invoice, on your profile link for any of your socials. For example, Instagram has 4 profile links. You can put it in a post where you can click on that link. You can send it out with your email marketing and give and ask people and the opportunity to really leave you a review and to give them some insights onto what it's like to do business with you. Because all of those opportunities really are valuable, not just to the person who did business to you, but the person who is considering you. As they go through that awareness and consideration and conversion funnel, they really do want to see what kind of person you are and how well you do take care of your client relationships. Okay? All right, you can now respond to messages here as well. Remember what I said about that messaging? It all happens within actually a desktop or laptop here or in Google Maps, so you can do that. You can also take a look at your insights. It's really important to do that because if you're not measuring, you're not marketing, $1 or 1 minute spent, that's lifting the bottom line or not getting you closer to your goal. So it's not lifting the bottom line and not getting you closer to your goal. Is $1 or 1 minute spent too much? It's always important to measure our marketing and then to adjust. So we do want to make sure we know exactly what people are doing on our profile, what they're looking at, and how we can better serve them. Now, if you leave with anything today, I want you to leave with this, and that is never, ever, ever, ever give away your Google password. Because once you give your Google account password to anyone, and I know a lot of businesses that do this, they give it to assistants, they give it to VAs, virtual assistants, they give it to other team members because they want them to have access to be able to do things. The problem is once you've given your password away to Google, to any of your Google accounts, you've given away the keys of the kingdom. The person who has your password can shut you down or shut you out. And I've seen a lot of agencies do that. I've sat across from thousands of small businesses who've cried about all they've lost that they built up in Google because they gave their password away thinking that that's what's needed to help manage either content, upload things, bring videos in, or just being able to answer and respond to reviews. You actually have the opportunity to add people by their email address and assign them roles. From you being the primary owner, so you're the main one who can shut things down and shut things out, to people who are owners, excuse me, who can do what you do but not shut you down or shut you out. So they're not a true owner, but they can operate like an owner except for shutting you down or shutting you out. Or a manager. There's the manager role within Google Business Profile or any of the Google tools where they have access, but now even for them to do anything, they need your permission as far as adding additional people. So they can do everything that you can do except shut you down, shut you out, or add random people to your Google account. So take heed to that. And if anybody you know has ever done this, please pass that along to them because it's the saddest thing that Google cannot help you with once you've given your password away if somebody decides to do something a little bit more nefarious with it. Okay, so that 3 dots as you're looking at Google search and you're logged into the Google account that you created your profile with or that you're managing your profile with. Now just click on those 3 dots and you can start putting in different roles and different people at different email addresses. So for you right now to get and on Google search and maps and to get on with managing your actual presence on Google search and maps, you need to either claim your business profile or verify you're the business owner, request that postcard, and then start optimizing and utilizing that Google business profile to get seen by your potential clients or your current customer base, or just to be able to get more visibility in search and maps, which still is location, location, location. Once that's built out, just like I was chatting with Cindy, you want to make a habit of looking at that information, making sure it's up to date because you don't want it to be not correct and then somebody discover that when they get to your location or when they're looking and need your help. You want to start doing visual branding with photos and videos. Put posts out there and information that would be helpful to somebody who needs your product, service, or solution, and then start measuring what you're doing to see what's effective and where you need to spend additional time and resources and where you could probably back off. Okay? So again, what are you going to take away from our time today? Because we've just spent 46 minutes where I've shared with you about how you can control your information on Google Search and Maps. And while it is wonderful knowledge to have, I'm a firm believer of knowledge is not powerful until it's applied. What are the 1 or 2 things that you actually heard today that you want to apply to make the time we spent today not an expense, but an investment in you growing your skill set or growing your business, be it your corporate business for your company or for you yourself if you're a freelancer or a consultant. So as I said, I always like to end things because I'm a bootstrap marketer with free or small fee things. So remember what I said about making sure you know what you want to apply that you learned. You can also go to google.com/grow. Any workshops there, because I am one of the 7 national trainers, I am happy to do that and come back to do that for you. Just let me know. So anything that you see here, just talk to PMI North Carolina. I'm happy to come back. If you guys would have me back, I'd be honored to do that. You'll also see that if you want to ask me specific questions, you just are so excited to have a Googler to talk to and to connect with, you can use this QR code or go to that link, bit.ly/Maria office hours. And you can feel free to sign up there and ask me questions there because I'm happy to do that for you. Again, you don't have to do this. This is just an additional resource if you want this available to you. And because I did talk about that, about always asking for a review, make sure you ask. People won't leave you a review if you don't ask. The best time to ask is when you've provided a great service or a product. Hopefully I've provided that to you today. And if I have, you can use this QR code and leave me a review right on my Google business profile. Or if you'll go to reviewmaria.com, it'll take you straight to my Google business profile. So you can leave a review there as well. Okay? And if you want to connect with me, this is how you can find me. Again, I gave that at the very beginning on the initial slide, but this is how you can connect, either finding out what other events I have coming up, other training sessions that I'm doing, or you can connect with me on Twitter, which is now X, or Instagram. I'm happy to connect with you too and celebrate actually and give you shout outs, especially if you applied what you learned from our session here today. Now, I'd love to answer your questions, so I'm going to move to that next. If there are any questions that have come up that you haven't mentioned in the chat, I'm happy to do that now, or feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll read it out loud. So are there any questions about this or anything on Google? Because sometimes you're so excited to just be in front of a Googler that you've got another question. Happy to answer. Well, if you do afterwards, feel free to connect afterwards. I'm happy to do that. Again, socials is the fastest way to connect with me. I'll go back to that slide again so you can see me on socials. That is the best way to do that. I'm always happy to answer questions. Ooh, I've got Cindy here with a question. Does Google favor the websites you create through your Google business profile over any other type of website? Yes, Cindy, they do. Okay, so there is y'all can tell what I do for a living. Cindy, that's great questions. I love it. I love it. So with Google, Google tools get more favor in Google algorithm than anything. There is I say it's a quiet SEO tip that a lot of people don't know. And SEO, just so you know, is search engine optimization. So search engine optimizations are things that you're doing to make sure the search engine can see you and make you visible in search. Because if the search engine can't see you, then how can it deliver you in search results, right? So one of the things that you can do that really helps with search engine optimization is to connect all your Google tools. You see, Google's the #1 search engine in the world because the information it delivers to somebody who's searching is correct. Well, the only way it can determine if it's correct is by going straight to businesses. That's the reason for the Google Business Profile. We're getting information directly from the business, and now it's put into Google Search and Maps, and it's verified and confirmed from the business. Well, even given more confidence to that search engine is if you take your Google Business Profile and you connect it to a Google website. And if you connect it to Google Analytics, which measures how people behave on your site. So you understand people's behavior, because it's really on us to be experts on our customers and clients. We need to know what information they consume and what they need online. Then we've got Google Search Console, which is also, these are all free tools that I'm naming here. Google Search Console lets you know how healthy your site looks to the search engine. Is it too slow? Does it take too long to load? Understand, a website has to load in 1.2 seconds for a regular website. That's a branding or employer brand website, something where there's not e-commerce shopping happening. So there's not a lot of photos or where you have checkouts and merchant accounts you have to deal with. It needs to load 1.2 seconds on a mobile device for a regular website. For an e-commerce site, it needs to load in 1.2 seconds, or 1.8 seconds, sorry. So 1.2 for a regular, 1.8 seconds. right? For a e-commerce site. So that could have thousands. You think of Amazon or Etsy or eBay, those are e-commerce sites. Or if you go to any direct to consumer brand, those are e-commerce sites. They have to load within 1.8 seconds. So we give a few more seconds more for e-commerce sites, but 1.2 seconds. If it takes longer than that, then you will lose over half, 53% of your traffic will look somewhere else. They'll scroll down. And that's sad when a lot of people spend on ads, or they spend all their time posting and doing things to make sure people come to their site, and they come to their site and it loads too long. Like, for example, they might have a theme on their website that takes 3.8 seconds to load. Now people leave. So whenever you can connect that with Google Search Console, it lets you know how well you do in mobile responsiveness, and as well as your speed there and the security of your site. Now you can connect Google Merchant Center, which you can helps your products be seen for free on Google Lens, which is an AI that people use with Google to take photos and identify things. Or you can be in Google Shopping Comparison there too, or Google Images. So as you connect all of these free tools, in Google Ads, you can use the free portion of Google Ads. All of those are signals to the algorithm that, oh, this business information is correct. Their YouTube channel is connected too. And that information is the same that they have on their Google business profile. Now Google has great confidence in your business and it lifts you higher. So you don't have to pay anything extra for search engine optimization to be able to utilize this. And I do like to teach businesses to make the most of all the free tools first before they go for any paid tools or paid services. Okay. So yes, it does. But it's not as strong as when you connect everything. So when you have all those tools together, Cindy, that's really the strongest presentation that you can have in giving confidence to the algorithm. All right. Any other questions? With reviews, remember, reviews are important. I did not share that, but it just reminded me when I said that about that practice, and that's knowing that for any regular website to compete nationally, you have to have 65-star reviews, 60 5-star reviews. It does not count into your 5-star review average if it doesn't have at least 2 to 3 sentences of comments underneath. So saying, good job, Maria, on the speech does not get me anything in my algorithm average. To get that 5-star rating average, it does have to have 2 to 3 sentences, about 250 characters. If you're an e-commerce site, then it does need 120 5-star reviews. Again, it does not count without any words. Those tools connected, not just the perfect. We don't have is the Google Business Profile website. Absolutely. So the Google Business Profile website will do really well. It does. I mean, it's gotten a lot of favor. So, you know, on actual algorithm because of search generative experience, as well as YouTube. Now, if you're using YouTube, use YouTube Shorts. That's given more favor than anything. And understand that, you know, I think TikTok. So a lot of people think TikTok is where you see short form video. TikTok gets about, is it 1 billion? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 1 billion. So TikTok gets 1 billion views every single day on TikTok, or YouTube Shorts. And understand YouTube has YouTube Shorts and then, of course, long form video. There's a lot of long form video there, you know, 20, 30 minutes, 10 minutes. But YouTube Shorts stay within 60 seconds because there's a hard stop at the 60 seconds. But on any day, we get an average of 50 billion views compared to TikTok's 1 billion. So while a lot of people think, oh, TikTok is where everybody's looking, it's not. They still go to YouTube when they want to know go, do, or buy, or any of the Google search products. Right? Any other questions? I'm going to throw it over to Sebastiano right now because I know he's got to close things out to close your business. But understand that I am here for you. If you want to reach for me on social, I'm happy to connect with you there. I'd be honored to hear what you applied that you learned. Thank you. Thank you.